Carbon Nigeria PLC has said it will begin its next phase of restructuring. Now, as part of restructuring efforts, the company says the streamlined product portfolio and there will also be trade and distribution system overhaul. Also, rights issue, liquidation of historical debts will also be reviewed. The company says it aims to upscale operations and extract more efficiencies in the business, and also 400 employees will be laid off as a result of the new restructuring. Now, recently the Nigerian Stock Exchange clarified statements made by the Central Bank of Nigeria on the usage of bank shares as collateral for loan facilities. Bringing in Obi Ogochukwu, is the founder of BroadStreetLagos.com and also managing partner at GCA Partners. We're talking about investment and margin lending. Good morning, sir. Good to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Now let's talk about investment and margin. Let's start with investment. How can we distinguish or separate the two, investment on one hand and margin lending on the other hand?
Well, investment lending is subject to the same rules as typical credit, and you can use stocks as collateral for that, as opposed to margin lending, which in the rules by the CBN is determined by the what's called the margin list, which is limited to a set of securities that meets the criteria and the guidelines for being traded. So if the CBN, for example, using those criteria determines that only 60 companies can be traded on margin, then all the brokers will then have to comply with that rule. The requirement is that only 50% of those securities would be available to trade on margin to determine what's known as the margin credit. And those securities would need to sit in the same account as